Oh, what's up, demons and demonettes? Tis I, Traxy, a demon queen. And today, we're gonna once again talk about Athalia Day 3 impressions. But before we get into it, as always, toss a like and subscribe down below. And if you ever want to catch me live, you can catch me over on Twitch, Traxy316. We're going at it pretty heavy lately. We've got 7 accounts currently running at the moment. It's crazy. So, alright. So if you want to check out our abilities and all that other good stuff, go ahead and check out my first Athalia video. But we're not going to talk about her abilities today. No, we're going to talk about some additional testing. So let's go into a guild supremacy. And, well, alright, so I'm currently 2nd ranked in my guild for a guild supremacy. So as you can see, member damage is 806. But we did not beat the higher score here. Now, I did run the current meta. I just subbed in Athalia for Sinbad. And, well, as you can see, we did less overall damage by about 55 billion, which for Celestial Hypogean is not a good sign. So not meta. We already have Sinbad on the main account. He's meta, so that, yeah, that's no real change there. So we gotta hope to maybe see a buff. The Dream Realm side is a little mixed. So here's my current issue in Dream Realm, is that for whatever reason my Harak keeps bugging out and I haven't been able to figure out why. I don't know if it's a charm issue, an EX weapon issue because he's 25 and everybody else is 15. I can't figure this out, right? So I can't really compare my Harak score to my Athalia score. Even when I run Athalia, see, we do better here with Athalia. Actually, yesterday we did our best score was with Athalia because for whatever reason it didn't mess up the gulp order. However, if we look at the current leader here, they did 80, and this is the squad they ran. It's not even the cryo squad, which is currently meta on live. So yeah, so we go to rankings here. You can see they're number 1 with the 80. My guess is everybody else is running, so I don't know. Maybe it's because I went with the balance charm set, but that doesn't seem to be the issue. So I haven't been able to pinpoint the reason as to why our Harak keeps getting gulped early there. But even with running Athalia, our highest score, where Harak doesn't get gulped, doesn't beat out the current highest score. So that's not a good sign. We can go take a look at yesterday's boss as well, which I believe was the Creeper. Yeah. So we did 102 with Athalia. We ran the current meta. We got Talion, her charm set, just to run comparatively. And we did hit some of that sweet RNG. And we did get a 134 with Athalia. We kind of capped out at 102. It was pretty consistent. Yeah, the issue is she doesn't really add anything. Like, if we look at the damage between Athalia here and Talion here, there's no real comparison. Talion's the breadwinner here. She's the one doing all the damage. Harak's only a secondary, and it's just because of how Talion is so good at killing ads. So it looks like, while I wanted her to be good for Dream Realm, she's just not ending up being good for a Dream Realm. So then the other flip side of the thing is like, well, okay, let's check her out on PvP. Now I am running her on a defense here. We can go ahead. You know, we got beat down a little bit. Oh, did I get knocked down? No, I'm at 13 still somehow. Okay. So yeah, we did get some couple successful defenses, but we did get some losses here. So we could see we're running her here on my. We're running her on the control team because that's kind of just. Oh no, that's not my team. Where's my team? Oh, I ran her with the Graveborn, right? So I substituted her in for Harak on the Graveborn team. Because that was another potential spot where we could sub her in. The other one would be to run her on the team here and sub her in for Cryonaya, but this Cryonaya is just so strong here. So it's not like she's indomitable. Yeah, it might have been actually better if we had Harak in here. I'll tell you why in a second. But then we can look at our other loss here. So we did manage to defend against her with the Cryonaya, because again, Cryonaya is a very good counter. Like, they counter each other in certain ways on certain teams, right? But when we have the a wilder tile on Cryonaya, it just destroys Athalia. And the reason is because Athalia can then not target Cryonaya very easily, right? Because Athalia is a lot like Olenya, who they also can her with. So they could target the highest damage dealer, right? Which is always going to be Cryonaya. The thing is that Cryonaya is going to be protected by Conceal State. So she's going to be kind of able to skirt and dodge Athalia's ability. I'm going to show you how we manage that in friendly duel. So we lost here, but we held up against Athalia, and we didn't win on defense with Athalia, right? So she's not really like game breaking. I'm seeing in PvP, it's just not changing much. So if we go and we go ahead and we're gonna take a look here. Alright, because homeboy Rack said, oh, Dur's got a pretty solid, really good friendly duel defense. So I'm like, okay, let me go check it out. I want to test a couple things against it. So we wanted to test out here you could see he's running Athalia, and then we ran the Cryonaya against it. So then the thing is that, like, again, Cryonaya's damage is just really, really high. So Athalia kind of goes after her first. So we're going to kind of take a look and see what happens. And the dynamic duo of Ludo and Caitlyn just can't keep her alive. Athalia just, you can see Athalia's just going after her hard. And they try their hardest, they can't keep her alive. And that kind of like causes a downfall, right? So they can't kill off Dunlinger and Athalia and get them low enough for Siren to kind of like do his thing. So the team kind of just falls apart, right? So we ran the other variation of the Great Board team that I'm very fond of. Again, this time we tossed in Sylvina, because one of the things is we wanted to do is, you'll notice that the Athalia's in the Twins link, so we wanted to kind of eliminate the Twins quickly to prevent them from doing their energy generation on Athalia and Dunlinger. But in this case, again, Cryonaya just couldn't get the job done, right? So you see, we killed the Twins, we get Friesto, but the problem is Athalia and Dun, right? More so Athalia than anything else. It's because Dun kind of shuts down Cryonaya there a little bit. One thing I didn't try, and that we could certainly try here, is we could try running Dunlinger to counter Dunlinger and see how that works. But I was able to crack it. It was simple. We just needed to sub in Harak for Cryonaya and let Harak kind of like do his thing. We have big success with the Sylvina Harak combo, and then we always have a Siren in there as a win condition, as how we say. So we'll check this out and see how this goes. You see, we finish off the Twins early, then Harak goes and does his thing. So you see, we kill off Dunlinger easy with Harak, and then Harak just kills everybody. And she's not unaffected, so she gets juggled to death. So Harak in the right comp just destroys her as well as our Cryonaya. We've had a lot of people test against us. We have Athalia on defense. You know, a lot of the people that I think have beaten it, you know, well, they use different stuff. So there's a ton of tests there. I'm not gonna look through all of them, but I wanted to see again if like our traditional comp with Nara could beat it. It struggled a little bit here, but like I said, one thing I didn't check, we didn't run the Cryonaya Wilder comp, or we didn't run it with. All right, so the thing is, we would drop Siren, right? So we would run Nara, and then we could run our Dunlinger, right, to give the protection to Cryonaya. So we're just going to change up the formation a little bit. we're gonna run it, we're gonna see, and then we can run the Wilder comp against it, and then see how that does as well. Win condition incoming. Unless she dies. Yeah, see, she got deaded. So yeah, Cryonaya, so you can see she struggles against Athalia. But Cryonaya is just one weapon we have in the toolbox, right? She's just DO 2.0. We have other tankier units. So again, we can try it out with the Wilder comp, and we'll see how this goes. Alright, so we gotta essentially drop everybody. We'll go with Cryonaya. Let's get our Wilder bros out. Right, so we'll go with a Lily. Maybe we'll toss a Lily over here. I think to the side. That should be okay. We get our Lurson. And then we get our Cassie. Maybe we put Cassie in the back. And then we get Taylene here. Wait a minute. Maybe I'll do like the row here. And then we'll see how this goes. Yeah, I think Storm Strike's fine. I could try Light. But it's not gonna matter as long as Dunlinger's up. So we did lose a Lily, but everybody came back up. So Cryo doesn't even get to get her ult off. Yes, she dies, but Tassie does the trick, right? Because Tassie kind of like can skirt around Athalia a little bit, and Tassie's definitely a win condition. Tassie sets her ult off, and it's game over. So even the Wilder comp has a lot of success against that comp, right? And this is a very strong comp. We can also substitute in Athalia for Cryonaya in this case, right? And we could see what happens here. So let's go ahead and do that. Oh no, it's being wonky. So let's try it again, which often happens. All right, so we then drop our Cryonaya out, or we put our Athalia in, and we can see if we have the same success with Athalia versus Athalia. We're just heavily relying. One thing that's worth mentioning is we don't have regular arena up, which is kind of bad because we don't know if she's going to be like the super really good like arena type hero. So yeah, Athalia is kind of like doing worse for us. As in general, a lot of melee heroes tend to do worse. Yeah, see. So it didn't work out as well. So it's like even on attack, even though this is like that was like a strong attack type team, it struggled. And it could just be that map, and it's not the best team for that map. But that's one of the things that you have to consider as an attacker is the map, right? But we already beat it using a Cryo with the Wilder comp, so that was obviously not a good substitute in there. And we already have Cryonaya built up. We don't have Athalia. We have to pull for Athalia. So again, I just wanted to take a second look to kind of like make sure we didn't really like miss anything with her, and maybe just get like a more convincing look to see if she's a must-have or a skip. I think she's just an okay to have, and for me, for a Celestial Hypogean, they are a premium unit. These things aren't cheap at all. They require a significant investment. If you are a whale, we're talking like, you know, 2,000 to 3,000. If you're free to play, it's gonna be, you gotta go big for the one that you're gonna dump all your resources in. You gotta go for the twins because they're gonna help you out the most. You gotta go for Friesto because he's gonna help you out a ton. You gotta go for Harak because he is just phenomenal for Endless Dream Realm, and we spend so much of the season in Endless Dream Realm. It's not even funny at this point. I mean, we were legit in pre-Endless for 3 weeks, so pulling heroes specifically for pre-Endless Dream Realm is kind of a waste at this point. Now, this could change with these stuff coming in the next season. And Athalia could be a pre-endless Dream Realm hero, but we can't test that, right? But what we can test is endless, and we can compare her to the other heroes that we have in endless at this time, and it just doesn't look good. It's a bad optic. So what could happen is Mimi, she gets reworked. Some things I would think would help her out. One, if we gave her the Odie charm set, right? So her charm sets are geared more towards PvP. She gets a shield, she's unaffected. This is 100% PvP skill set, so she's only really going to be applicable in PvP game modes for this season, which I think is bad. So she really should have the Odie / Sinbad set. That way maybe she's an upgraded version of Sinbad. But then you have to worry about the Scarlito phenomenon, where Scarlito was amazing in Song of Strays due to her seasonal talents, but then that seasonal buff got removed and she went back on the milk carton and just got power crept out of the current meta for PvP, just at the high end, just because she doesn't offer much. Because again, most fights are over in 14 seconds. Scarlito's only giving out her defensive buff at that time, right? So that's one thing that would help her. The other thing would be to rework her ability, rather than potentially doing true damage. Maybe she has some sort of a bleed skill. Maybe they replace this skill here, Vanguard's renewal, right? And instead of the hit dealing base damage, maybe the hit deals like bleed damage, right? So bleed damage would just be kind of similar to Friesto's Vicious Sting, right? So we have his ability, the Viscous Sting. Friesto stings an enemy in the front, dealing 50% damage and inflicting them with paralyzing venom for 6 seconds. Enemies afflicted with paralyzing venom have their haste reduced by 30, vitality by 45. They also lose a 2% plus skill of their max HP per second while restoring 3%. Right, so maybe she would have a bleed, and maybe it would be like a 5% per second, and maybe put like a little bit of a debuff on them. Maybe, like I said, maybe her skills need a rework, because like in Arena she had a bleed. Here she doesn't have the bleed. The bleed is something like that could make her viable for Dream Realm potentially, but then we would be power creeping somebody else we just put in. Anyway, I just wanted to take another look at her, just to kind of like determine if I was gonna pull or pass her, because I've kind of been on the fence. So unless they come out early next week, and when they drop her on VN, if she gets like a buff there, or she gets buffed here, hopefully they buff her in the same spots, so we're able to easily test that, because I currently don't have the resources to pull her on VN just because she's so not great. I went ahead and pulled the twins on the account to help out that account more now, based on early looks from Athalia from Pioneer. So that's it for this one. I will catch you guys in the next one. Bye.